Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, comrades all both home and the diaspora. This now the golden voice of the APC Encyclopeadia the Brittannicca, the socio-political analyst, the voice of the voiceless, the whistleblower, the lion of the social media, the regional publicity secretary, Southern Region, under the ticket of the mighty, indomitable All People's Congress Party. Fellow Sierra Leonean, fellow listeners, ladies and gentlemen all over the globe, as you know, the Encyclopedia Media always embark on civic education for continue for educate, inform, sensitize, conscientize, and raise awareness to be people in Mama Salon on daily happenings and on burning issues. So when I stay tuned, when I stay fixed, when I stay blessed, when I stay connected to the Encyclopedia Media, for una listening pleasure is absolutely guaranteed. Today, na Tuesday, the 1st July, 2025. Before ever they continue on me audio, I they say bravo to the untouchable chairman, the unshakable chairman, the unstoppable chairman, the dynamic chairman, the decisive chairman, the positive chairman, the indefatigable chairman, and the indomitable chairman of the Council of APC social media bloggers, both home and the diaspora, when a Dr. APC Malika, the duplicates, the man where the champion the fight for electoral justice. Keep it on, my bro. The sky will be your limit. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leone and comrades, all both home and the diaspora, we audio today the center on things we don't destroy we country today. We na Mama Salone, the land of the free, the once referred to the Athens of West Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you now, waiting PAOPA bill used for destroy Mama Salone. Waiting PAOPA bill used for destroy the democracy. Waiting PAOPA bill used for destroy with peace and national cohesion. Waiting PAOPA bill used for plunder with state resources. Waiting PAOPA bill used for divide the people of this country. Waiting PAOPA bill used for batter and shatter the image of we darling Mama Salone. Now in I can tell you today. So we topic today na pride and prideful leadership. Now in we topic today. Waiting constitute a proud person when at the negative sense, when they point to a sinful individual, when they shift ultimate confidence from God to self. We all don't listen to the illegitimate president of Sierra Leone, when our Papa Bio, we say in the chairman of ECOWAS now. In West, now the president of the first ladies of Africa. And he also don't chair the United Nations Security Council as president. We boast publicly say the SLPP could do whatever it takes for continue, for impose themselves on the people of Sierra Leone. In a delegate, and whoever become the flag bearer, the SLPP PAOPA party could be the next president of the Republic of Sierra Leone in 2028. You not use whatever is lawful, but he say whatever it takes. He don't embolden himself with pride because he thinks, say, ladies and gentlemen, we don't steal the June 24, 2023 multi-tier election in the Republic of Sierra Leone. It go scot-free. He telling party supporters, they say, they'll not vote for leaders then by emotion, but let them do so rationally. It insinuates say the party flag bearer of Iyon PAOPA party will be the next president of the Republic of Sierra Leone. Julius Madab Kirabio say, imperative say, in party go do everything possible for continue for the power. Nothing say unapologetic about it. Even though he re-elect himself on a stolen mandate, we describe as both local and international observers then say the election is full of mathematical improbable and statistical inconsistencies. The so-called father of democracy, he don't become a PhD holder in election rigging, constitutional civilian coup, and state coup. Democracy now, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans under EU leadership, not about the one the way they go vote, but now the one the way select, where they count the vote. You every day they beat the drums of war and they blow the trumpet of political and tribal war, the mamas alone. So this now a clarion call to be democratic moral guarantors and we international development partners. The West, we come with democracy for we. We tell we say democracy, that the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. That they don't come, they don't spend billions of dollars, the mamas alone, for end 11 years civil war, the 11 years brutal, bloody, deadly, nasty, disastrous, destructive, and devastated rebel war. Namamas alone. We international development partners, they spend billions of dollars for end that war day. King Pharaoh was consumed by pride. Saddam Hussein, Adolf Hitler, Field Marshal Idi Amin Dada of Uganda, Laurent Kabila of Congo, Nebuchadnezzar, Amrud Ibn Canaan, Charles Dagbana Gange Taylor, Kopara Furese Banasanko, Chief Samuel Sam Inganoman. Ladies and gentlemen, to name but a few, they were all consumed by pride. Today, then they don't have in grave. Like say, they know one day exist in this world. Waiting at the precise meaning and definition of the word pride. Pride na the feeling of superiority, na a haughty attitude, where they shown by people, we believe say, you often justifiable say them better than everybody else. Pride they go before destruction, and haughty spirit before a fall. A better for let it be of lonely spirits with the poor than for divide the spoil with the proud. According to Proverbs 13 verse 10, pride they lead to conflicts. Ladies and gentlemen, but the one that way they take advice, they are wise. God don't like arrogance. This now according to Proverbs 13 verse 10. They say pride leads to conflict. Those who take advice are wise. God does not like arrogance. According to Proverbs 11 verse 2, they say when pride comes, then comes disgrace. But humility comes wisdom. They say when pride and proud they come with disgrace. But when you humble yourself, they come with wisdom. According to Proverbs 16 verse 5, the Lord detests all the proud of heart. Be sure of this, they will not go unpunished. Waiting Proverbs 16 verse 5, they try for tell we. They say God hates the proud, the one that we get proud of heart. And when I be sure say, anybody we proud, you know go unpunished. According to Proverbs 16 verse 18, pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. Pride, they go with destruction. And a haughty spirit, bagbati, kamo, grandiosity, they go with a fall. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow listeners all over the globe, pride, essentially, now self-worship. Pride, now for take the glory we belong to God alone and keep unto yourself. Pride, now an excessive love of one's own excellence. Pride, now a deadly sin where they believe for generate other sins there and further immoralities. Pride always they lead you to brag. Pride they lead you for do foolish things then. Pride they lead you to a deadly sin. And pride it go make somebody where it no go ever satisfy. Pride now the state of feeling of being proud, becoming dignified or a dignified sense of what you do to oneself. You dey make bagbati about your position. You dey make bagbati about your character, self-respect, self-esteem, pleasure or satisfaction, taking in something done or belonging to oneself, or believe say it reflects credit upon oneself when I civil pride. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow listeners, comrades, all both home and the diaspora, waiting at the negative meaning of pride. The negative meaning of pride, it also refer to foolhardiness or a corrupt, irrational sense of one personal value, your status, or your accomplishment. In this sense, pride go be used synonymously with hubris or vanity. In this sense, according to classical theological interpretation, now one of the 7 deadly sins. And waiting are the 7 deadly sins. Number 1, na pride. Number 2, na greed. Number 3, na lust. Number 4, na envy. Number 5, na gluttony. Number 6, na wrath. And number 7, na sloth. The 7 main sins then. Number 1, na lust. Number 2, na gluttony. Number 3, na greed. Number 4, na sloth. Number 5, na wrath. And number 6, na envy. While waiting make am 7, na pride. Sloth. Why sloth be a sin? For be slothful na a sin. Because slothfulness, the equator to waste. The wasting amount of time, the wasting of ability, and the wasting of resources. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, and the wasting of time. Sloth they ignore the 7 gifts of grace where God give mankind. Number 1, na wisdom. Number 2, na understanding. Number 3, na counsel. Number 4, na knowledge. Number 5, na piety. Number 6, na fortitude. And number 7, na the fear of God. When they say, Watakula, don't fear God. Jealousy and envy and covetousness, all declare for be sin in the Holy Bible and in the Holy Quran. Gluttony, where they eat or drink to excess beyond reason, na a sin. Because gluttony, then believers say it is spoil another sin and further immoral behavior. When you eat excessively, you go colic. And when you colic, it go turn to sick for you. So pride na the friend of all the following things there where God hate. Number 1, na haughty eyes. Number 2, na a lying tongue. Number 3, na the hands there where they shed innocent blood. Number 4, na a heart where they devise evil. Number 5, na false witness against your brother. Number 6, na for associate God. And number 7, na backbiting or sneaking, whispering, or where they stab others there behind their back. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow listeners, comrades all, both home and the diaspora. So the deadly sin of greed, now the excessive desire for material possession and wealth. You want money in excess, you want power in excess, everything we good now for you. You dey deprive others, you dey enslave others, you dey impoverish others. Ladies and gentlemen, all them here then due to pride, when are the insatiable desire for more. Things then when an abomination to God. Now haughty eyes, now a lying tongue, now the hands that where they shed innocent blood, now a heart where they devise wicked plan, feet them where they make haste for run into evil, a false witness where they breathe out lies, and somebody where they sow discord among brothers. We don't see all the here today don't happen in the coming of PAOPA from April 4, 2018 to date within 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, all the evil they are, then center to a destructive leadership with pride, with ego, with bagbati, with pomposity, with grandiosity, with hubris and superbia. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow listeners, comrades all, both home and the diaspora, blasphemy, now a religious sense to great disrespect where they show to God or something way holy, ladies and gentlemen, or something we said and done where they show the kind of disrespect. Rogues and political thieves then don't embolden themselves as demigods or demons, a malevolent supernatural entity. Where did they make God angry? God is angry in the perversion of waiting in the make right. God they call this perversion evil. Wait till they make God laugh. God they laugh at the one them where they set themselves against the anointed one, according to Psalm 59 verse 8. And when he laugh, he they do so for we sake, for communicate to us. So the one that will fight against the God's anointed, His Excellency the President-elect Dr. Samura Matiwisi Kamara, not for become President of Sierra Leone, even though he was elected on the June 24, 2023 presidential election. God, they laugh at una. Very soon, God get for Anduluna, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, because when you fight against the God's anointed, meaning you don't challenge the authority of God, and God, they laugh you because he sits now in heavens there. Wait till they make let God happy. God, he take pleasure in the one day where they fear him. Where the Quran say, Watakullah, in the one day where hope, ladies and gentlemen, in the steadfast love of God, love in kindness, justice, and righteousness, they make God happy. Which language? Where demon and they speak. The language where demons and they speak, then call her extra bam. Extra bam is known as the demonic language. Now the native tongue, ladies and gentlemen, all waiting demonic leaders then want now war, now disaster, now killings, now catastrophe, now calamity, now terror, now extortion, now exploitation, now repression, now suppression, now oppression, now brutality, now confusion, now unrest, now fetishism, now cultism, now destruction, now victimization, now marginalization, now apathy. This now the demonic language. We pridefully that's the one for you. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean comrades all. But God, subhanallahi wa ta'ala, go save Mama Salone from this political slavery in a perpetual cycle where we don't see we serve today. Today, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean, the houses of Sierra Leonean citizens, then they destroy them, then they broke them, then they use bulldozer them for put them down, for give the land then to strangers, so that then go into dirty deals with strangers, with foreigners then. Today we only get the identity as Sierra Leoneans, but politically, socially, economically, and psychologically, we are slaves in we own land, in we own country, a hell on earth for its citizens, due to the barbaric, the tyrannical, the autocratic, the authoritarian, the dictatorship, and the junta-mindedness of the Southeast, Mende Shebro Warlord, we don't embolden himself as a demigod with prideful leadership, waiting at the consequences of prideful leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, prideful leadership gets severe and destructive consequences then for both the individual and the organization where it belongs. Fellow Sierra Leoneans, ladies and gentlemen, it leads to a toxic work environment. It hinder collaboration, innovation, and overall success. Pride, they cause leaders them for ignore feedback, make poor decision, and alienate team members there, ultimate leading to a decline in morale and productivity. The destructive consequences then. Number one, now loss of humility and openness. Prideful leaders, they often struggle for admit to the mistake, for accept feedback or recognize their own limitation. This they lead them to stagnation or personal and professional growth, with the hinder poor decision making, the inflated sense of self, the cloud judgment. They lead to irrational decision based on ego rather than sound reasoning. Burnout and isolation. The pressure for maintain a perfect image and the reluctance for ask for help, they lead to a burnout and isolation of a prideful leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, prideful leadership, they damage relationship. How? Arrogance and a lack of empathy, they alienate colleagues them, they alienate subordinates them, and even superiors. They create a toxic and a stressful environment. Toxic leadership or prideful leadership, the organization, they do what thing? They decrease morale and productivity. Ladies and gentlemen, the employees, the way they work under a prideful leadership, then they feel undervalued, leading to decreased morale, motivation, and ultimately they reduced productivity. Lack of collaboration and innovation. Prideful leaders then will be resistant to collaboration. They hinder the sharing of ideas and they stifle creativity. Erosion of trust and respect. Arrogance and a lack of humility, it erode trust and respect within the team, leading to a breakdown of communication and teamwork. Within a team together, everyone active more. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow children and comrades all, both home and the diaspora. So, prideful leadership, they create a culture wherein unethical behavior is tolerated or even encouraged, leading to moral decay within the organization. How pride they affect leadership. Pride they breeds what we call paranoia. Ladies and gentlemen, waiting are paranoias. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow children and communists all, both home and the diaspora. Leaders then, way overly proud, they often react defensively to criticism or dismiss feedback. Ladies and gentlemen, when they challenge their self-image, then they use the military for arrest, for torture, for jail, for kill, or for massacre their own citizens. Then they enact draconian laws there for shut down free speech, peaceful assembly, peaceful protest, unleash fear, terror, mayhem, and atrocities against their own citizens, instead of them listening to their citizen and do the needful for the citizen. Then get no willingness for listening. They don't get time for dialogue. They don't get time for collaborate. They know they show no empathy, and they know they show concern for their citizen. Pride, na arrogance, and na a destructive something. Pride, na the primary cause of most dysfunctions, tough battle, and lack of alignment in organization. Pride, na a sabotage to leadership. Pride, na a destructive and a dangerous poison to leadership. When you fail for swallow your pride, the consequences there, ladies and gentlemen, then will be disastrous and destructive. God hates pride and not go put up with arrogance and a prideful behavior. Flawed leaders, they always they embolden themselves with pride. How pride will be destructive. Pride they cause people for reject God and for rejecting one day where they help them, where they need others for help. Then they delude themselves into thinking, say, they don't need any help. Then they do everything for themselves. Excessive pride, waiting at excessive pride, it will result in increased conflicts, prejudice, and inequality, and it will ultimately lead to the destruction of the social and political fabrics we hold a nation. When pride transforms into hubris, it will block empathy, it will block connection, it will block ultimate happiness in relationship, in politics, and in ethnicity. Destructive leadership is made up of 5 critical factors then. Number 1, na charisma. Number 2, na personalized need for power. Number 3, na narcissism. Number 4, na negative life themes. And number 5, na the ideology of hate. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean comrades all, waiting at the weakness of pride. Pride is easily offended and slow for forgive, healing the weight, while pride they exact in due. Pride they evaluate self and dismiss others. Why pride is so destructive? One reason we make pride so dangerous now because it's very, very deceptive. Ladies and gentlemen, we also always blinded in the presence of pride now we heart and we mind because short a powerful force. Ladies and gentlemen, we get a strong hold in we life. Ladies and gentlemen, a very, very dangerous. Now the presence of resist attempts where they read the heart of the influence. Waiting at the dangers of being prideful, where you proud. Proud people there, they're often contemptuous of others. They're insolent or rude in the way wherein they treat others. The pride of hearts, they deceive others, where them call Obadiah 3. And they distort with perception. Fellow Sierra Leoneans, ladies and gentlemen, comrades all, both home and the diaspora, and we know they see things then as things then truly they. We know they see other people then value. We know they see we own flaws because of pride. Waiting at the 5 abuses of leadership. Number 1, now the abuse of power in leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, it lead things then to short follow. Prideful leadership, they lead to abuses then like physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, and psychological abuse. Whose person will most likely be a destructive leader? The most likely answer for a destructive leader, now somebody will manipulative. A manipulative leader, they create toxic environments because it prioritize always in your interests. Now, whether or not a destructive leader, the one they will they abuse in power, the one who lack of empathy, poor communication, micromanagement, unrealistic expectation, blame shifting, lack of integrity, and resistance to the truth and reality. A destructive leader, they use fear, they use threat, they use violence in order to get the job well done. Ladies and gentlemen, waiting on the behavior where destructive leaders then they exhibit. The negative behavior, the destructive behavior, where destructive leaders then, prideful leaders then, they exhibit. Their personality trait, notably, number 1, na narcissism. Number 2, na hubris. And number 3, na Machiavellianism. Waiting on the destructive forms of leadership. Important destructive leadership behavior include incoherent planning, assigning unnecessary tax debt, ambiguous expectation, and autocratic behavior. Waiting on a destructive character. Ladies and gentlemen, people that will get destructive character, they're only interested in the clearing away everything in the bulldoze. Fellow Sierra Leonean, Then they destroy even the traces of destruction. The character trait destructive, it refers to a behavior or attitude where they cause harm or damage to oneself or to others. The 4 Ds of leadership. Number 1D, na direct. Number 2D, na decide. Number 3D, na delegate. And number 4D, na disappear. This we call them the 4Ds of leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leone and comrades all, waiting at dysfunctional leadership. Dysfunctional leadership gets several harmful behavior, such as they behave in abusive ways, they marginalize others, they engage in favoritism, they degrade others, or they degrade other groups. Then you focus so much on your agenda, not knowing, say, ladies and gentlemen, what they do is not really expected of you. We get 4 types of leaders, or we get 4 types of leadership or leadership styles. We get autocratic leadership, we get democratic leadership, we get laissez-faire leadership, and we get visionary leadership. What we see today in Mama Salon, now autocratic leadership style. Ladies and gentlemen, we listeners think you want to know what na autocratic leadership. Autocratic leadership, they refer to a management style in which decision-making power is concentrated in the hands of one great man without the input from group members. The leader, they make decisions solely on your own judgment and perspective without considering the opinion and suggestion of others. Ladies and gentlemen, short types of leadership, they call it autocratic leadership. And the one way they do so, they call her an autocrat, ladies and gentlemen. And what they practice, we call her autocracy, ladies and gentlemen. When I want man show. So, fellow Sierra Leoneans, ladies and gentlemen, comrades all, waiting PAOPA bill used for destroy Mama Salon, na pride. Waiting PAOPA bill used for destroy the democracy, na pride. Waiting PAOPA bill used for contaminate with society, na pride. Waiting PAOPA bill used for divide with society by politics, by tribe, and by region, na pride. Waiting PAOPA bill used for thief power, for thief votes, for thief destiny, na Mama Salo, na pride. Waiting PAOPA bill they use for challenge international development partners, na pride. Waiting PAOPA bill use for indulge in drug trafficking, ammunition trafficking, all them bad things, then killing, extrajudicial killings, police brutality, torture, massacres, strategic ethnic cleansing, bulldozing, constitutional bastardization, all the bad things then. Waiting cause PAOPA bill for do so. Now because of pride. Now pride. Now it don't destroy us so today. Now pride. Now it don't make high day so today. And God hates would I get pride. Waiting make God dread. Satan, when an Iblis from Arijan, he sent unto earth for like indulge in bad things then. Now because of pride. When God commanded the angels then, for let them call them subdue to Adam. All the angels then prostrate before Adam. Only Iblis when I Satan, he say, not they prostrate to a dust because God make her with fire. Ladies and gentlemen. So where somebody dey, power, he abuse her. Because power smile on his face. If he see nobody like him, he feel himself proud. He turn himself to the me God. He become prideful. He get babasi. He get grandiosity. He get hubris. He get superbia. Ladies and gentlemen, if he say he do anything we like, people that don't the way powerful in the world, the likes of Adolf Hitler, who said in this so today, they all don't go. The likes of Saddam Hussein, the likes of Gaddafi, the likes of Charles Tagbana Taylor, the likes of Laurent Kabila, the likes of Fode Sebana Sankor, the likes of Mosquita, Elias Sambokri, Elias Mosquito, all them terrors and they, All them people them day, the most powerful Catherine of the world. When I Amrod Ibn Canaan, now waiting God take destroyer with in pride, now mosquito, ladies and gentlemen. So pride, now in PAOPA bio take for destroy today, we country mama salon. And the ending of pride, now disgrace. Pride, now in disgrace, it finished, it toppled down. King Pharaoh, when a Pharaoh, we find himself today, today embodied the dog, in all rotten, hidden at the Red Sea. Where God gave him power, he gave him wealth, he gave him everything. He become proud, he become boastful, grandiosity, hubris, superbia. He say, no God no they pass in. He gave my knocking chest. He say, waiting. He say, Anna Rabukum la Allah. That and they God take destroyer. Anybody will get pride. He they challenge God your authority. Anybody will get pride. If you say nobody know they like you ending not disgrace. So, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, God bless the people of Sierra Leone where they suffer. We stand for electoral justice. We brothers and sisters them. We in the diaspora. We one can home. Let God continue for bless them. Let God continue for provide for them. Let God continue for cover them with the blood of Jesus. By God in power, by God in grace. God they fed for we. And when I go come back now in our country, when I'm mamas alone, for can see when I family there, for can see when I loved ones there. So fellow Sierra Leoneans, when I feel free and share this, now the golden voice of the APC Encyclopeadia.